Professional rugby union has resumed it after almost 3 months with New Zealand Super Rugby Aotearoa. Here's how it got off the ground and why it might be appointed to the future of the competition in the Southern Hemisphere. This is Sports File. The reason why Super Rugby Aotearoa being the Māori name for New Zealand, beat all the other professional rugby leagues to the punch is because the country came out of lockdown a lot faster than any other major rugby playing nation. After the first 2 rounds of games, it's pretty obvious that rugby-mad New Zealanders miss watching their national sport, be it on television or at the grounds. One of the attractions for people going to the actual games is that unlike other leagues overseas like European soccer or Australia's National Rugby League or baseball leagues in Asia, there's no restrictions on crowd sizes. So organisers don't need to actually put cardboard cutouts of spectators on seats, and television broadcasters actually don't need to pipe in atmosphere or crowd noise. The first 2 rounds of competition have attracted more than 20,000 to each actual game. The first weekend's game between the Auckland Blues and Wellington Hurricanes at Eden Park, which is the national stadium, had a crowd of 43,000, which is almost full capacity. So the sight of crowds flocking back to games is actually a good news story for New Zealand Rugby, who face a little bit of financial uncertainty. While they've got cash reserves of about 90 million New Zealand dollars, last year they posted a $7.4 million loss, and this year they are projecting a 70% drop in revenue. The 5 Super Rugby teams also rely quite heavily on ticket revenue, and they host 8 games a year in normal Super Rugby competition. So actually being able to host 4 in Super Rugby Aotearoa is a little bit of a help to their financial issues. They also acknowledge that it's not really a silver bullet to their financial issues and have stated categorically that they do face some very hard times ahead. They've had to cut player salaries and they're also reportedly laying off about half their staff at headquarters here in Wellington. Trouble for the competition is it's not restricted to the newer members of the Alliance. The South African Rugby Union, whose Springboks national team won the Rugby World Cup last year, have struggled to keep players at home for years. They've also battled severe financial issues. And there are constant talk coming out of the Republic that they actually see their future more aligned with European club competitions, where the actual kick-off times are far better for television audiences. Rugby Australia is also in financial turmoil, with real fears there could be a player exodus after they were asked to take 60% pay cuts. The organisation still also hasn't secured a broadcasting agreement for next year. So the future is really, really up in the air.